This is Johnny Taylor, age 11, a beneficiary of this marvelous age of science, technology, and automation. At this moment in time, Johnny Taylor is here, in this supermarket. Its hallmark, the shopping cart. From coast to coast, from border to border, this is how much of America shops today. The names of the stores vary. Supermarkets, drugstores, shopping centers, and just plain stores. The consumers vary too, for though there are some 200 million of us in America today, no two of us are exactly alike. Meet Nancy Taylor, an average American consumer, homemaker, wife, cook, nurse, home economist, and mother. Like all of us, Nancy, during this day and every day, will buy, use, or consume one or more of these products: foods, medicines and cosmetics, and household chemicals. They are as close to us as life itself and cost us over 100 billion consumer dollars a year. Here's another thing we have in common. Every American can purchase these products with confidence because we are protected by local, state, and federal laws, and by high industry standards. Enforcing our Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act and its companion labeling law are the people of the Food and Drug Administration, FDA. They are an invisible part of the ordinary daily life of every American consumer, including Nancy Taylor and her family. This is no ordinary day for Nancy. Time is closing in on her. Johnny's twin brother, Jeff, is ill with a strep infection, and Nancy wants to get to the hospital before visiting hours end. This is Linda, the Taylor teenager. Her job at this moment is to take over the household and speed her mother on her way to the hospital. Over 2,000 years ago, Hippocrates, father of medicine, wrote, "Extreme remedies are very appropriate for extreme diseases." But from Hippocrates' time until a generation ago, doctors had no effective remedies, extreme or otherwise, with which to fight many of the deadly diseases that plague mankind. However, the discovery of the sulfa drugs and the antibiotics in the 1930s and 40s revolutionized drug therapy and marked the beginning of today's golden age of medicine. Three days ago, Jeff Taylor was a very sick little victim of a strep infection, fighting for his life. But this is the kind of miracle today's wonder drugs work, not only for the patient, but for his family as well. The drugs that work these wonders must be used with caution. Dispensing medication today is serious business. Busy as nurses are, this is one of the many tasks they perform with dedicated care. Doctors are busy too, but never too busy for a rewarding moment like this. Jeff's infection has responded so well to treatment that he may be able to go home in a few days. To Nancy Taylor, modern miracle drugs have suddenly taken on a new and very personal meaning, although she knows little about them and their built-in protection factors. Exactly what does overall drug protection add up to for the Taylors and for all American consumers?
The Federal Food, Drug, and Cosmetic Act requires that all drugs moving in interstate commerce or imported from abroad must be safe and effective. Drug plants, large and small, are inspected by FDA. Drugs must be properly labeled with directions, dosage, and cautions so that the right patient gets the right amount of medicine the right way. Scientifically trained FDA inspectors check to see that manufacturers meet high standards of purity and quality, and that all the products are made in accordance with good manufacturing practices. The brilliant advance of drug therapy is one of the great dramatic stories of our time. The discoveries of tomorrow, which promise the control and cure of the diseases that still plague us, are being charted by America's research scientists. Thousands of new compounds are tested and discarded, and millions of dollars invested for every new drug that eventually reaches the public. The search for a new drug may begin in a university or an industry laboratory like this, where a chemical combination has just been designed. Let's follow this promising new compound, number 432. It has just been created, its chemical properties determined, and its purity established. Next step, testing on animals to determine the effect of the new compound on life processes. Does 432 affect the action of the heart? How does it affect the liver? What effect does it have on the nervous system? Extensive experiments are conducted on small animals to find the answers. Will compound 432 be useful in treating the disease for which it was designed, or any other disease? From the very beginning, whether the testing takes weeks, months, or years, data are carefully collected and compiled for the company's own evaluation and for later evaluation by FDA. Then more tests to determine 432's safety and its possible hazards and side effects. What will it do to blood pressure, to growth rate, to reproductive functions? If all the animal tests appear to show that the drug will be both safe and effective, it may now be ready for testing on human beings. But at this point, FDA comes into the picture. Before the drug is tested on humans, the law requires that the manufacturer must submit the results of his animal tests to FDA. The manufacturer must also submit his plan for the proposed clinical testing. FDA doctors, chemists, pharmacologists, and other scientists review and evaluate the manufacturer's animal research data and his clinical testing plan. In clinical testing, the drug is tried out by qualified medical investigators on carefully selected patients. If all goes well, more investigators will use it for more patients. First scores, then hundreds, then perhaps thousands of patients try the drug as the medical investigators carefully watch the results and record their observations. Their reports, including both good and poor results, are sent to the manufacturer. The data pile up, fills volumes. Then, when the manufacturer believes that he has convincing proof that the drug will be both useful and safe, he applies to FDA for permission to sell it. FDA experts may conduct their own research and testing to help them reach a decision. One question that must be answered about many new drugs is this: will the medication be harmful to a developing human embryo, an unborn baby? Chick embryos are used in one new test being tried. The pharmacologist injects the drug she is testing directly into the air cell of a fertile egg. The injected eggs, together with a control group of other fertile eggs which have not been injected, are put into an incubator. After 17 days in the incubator, the eggs are repacked and placed in the hatcher. Will the injected eggs hatch? If they don't, this may be a danger signal. If they do hatch, are the chicks abnormal in any way? How does the injected group compare with the control group, which didn't get the drug? Here are the chicks from the injected eggs, lively, healthy, perfectly formed. No evidence that the drug would be unsafe for unborn babies. This is the result of a drug which did produce deformities in chick embryos. It has retarded their growth and malformed them. These two different results suggest that chick embryos may be useful in speeding up the testing of drugs. In evaluating industry's data, if a scientist finds anything unusual that needs further clarification, FDA may do research on the drug itself. This pharmacologist is checking a manufacturer's test results on a proposed new drug for high blood pressure. The polygraph is used to record the blood pressure of the test animal. Before the drug is injected, the rat's graph shows extreme high blood pressure. Now the pharmacologist makes an intravenous injection of the new antihypertensive drug. How effective will it be? The polygraph shows a dramatic drop in blood pressure, followed by an adjustment to a lower level. Further study will be necessary to see whether beneficial effects will continue. Research like this enables FDA scientists to evaluate the manufacturer's data. And now this whole wealth of research, both animal and human, must pass final review by FDA's medical and scientific staff. The medical director will get the considered opinion of each expert: pharmacologists, internists, hematologists, pediatricians, obstetricians, psychiatrists, and other specialists and scientists as necessary. They must be satisfied that the benefits of the new drug will outweigh any possible hazards. If the drug successfully passes this review, the new drug application is approved by the Commissioner of Food and Drugs, and a new weapon against sickness and death is born.
Nancy Taylor knows nothing about this highly complex drug protection story. She feels only an overwhelming sense of gratitude for the miracles of modern medicine that helped her child. chef's quick recovery has lifted Nancy's spirits, but it hasn't stopped the clock. She's still pressed for time. Dinner still has to be prepared. Fortunately, there's modern time-saving technology to help her. Today's consumer can choose from thousands of food items, some of them ready to serve within minutes. But whether they take hours or minutes to prepare, Nancy Taylor can be confident that the foods she serves are safe, wholesome, and honestly packaged and labeled. What is her reason for confidence?
Well, let's consider this loaf of bread. It was made in one of the 100,000 food establishments subject to regulation and inspection by the Food and Drug Administration. In a bakery like this, industry's high standards are backed up by FDA's specific rules and regulations governing sanitary conditions. This FDA inspector is checking out flour handling equipment. The flour going into the hopper may be clean and free of any adulteration, but there are hard-to-clean areas where flour can be trapped and where insects could multiply. Scientifically trained FDA inspectors help keep bakeries like this trouble-free. It's also part of FDA's job to see that packaged food contains not only the amount stated on the label, but that the labeling is honest and contains other information that will help the consumer purchase wisely and well, including the common or usual name of the product, the net contents, the name and address of the manufacturer, packer, or distributor, a statement of any artificial coloring, flavoring, or chemical preservatives.
When it comes to man-made chemicals on or in foods, science and the law again take over for the American consumer. It is a fact of life that no one can adequately protect the family food supply today without the help of science and the law. Like most of us, Nancy is unaware of this continuous shield of protection, although there have been moments when she has asked herself,
all these extra ingredients, chemicals I can't pronounce, coloring materials, artificial flavoring, what a complicated world we live in, and there's never enough time.
In this age of space and the atom, this complicated world is often less complicated for the younger generation. Rockets, space capsules, and moonshots are as much a part of Johnny's daily life as reading, writing, and the new math. And he has already shown an aptitude for chemistry.
Perhaps one day Johnny will work in an FDA lab like this one, where scientists are checking foods for pesticide residues. Market basket studies are made at regular intervals to check on the amount of pesticide residue in our food supply. This market basket includes everything an average 19-year-old boy, the biggest eater in the family, would consume in 2 weeks. The most advanced scientific equipment is used for these studies. Scientists, too, are especially trained in the latest techniques for pesticide detection. The results of these tests show that the amount of pesticide residues in American foods presents no danger to health. A pesticide must be cleared with FDA if it will leave a residue on any food crop. FDA sets a limit on the amount of residue permitted. This limit, called a tolerance, is based on extensive research data submitted by the manufacturer. A food can be seized and removed from the market if it contains too much residue. Like pesticides, chemical additives help to feed our expanding population. Today we use thousands of them, and every consumer benefits from their safe use. And, like new drugs and pesticides, chemical additives must be cleared by FDA scientists before they can be used. Inspectors and chemists see that the safety rules have been followed. These same rules apply to colors used in foods, drugs, and cosmetics. Every color must be specifically permitted by FDA. Every batch, when necessary, must be certified for purity before it can be used. This includes colors used on vegetables and fresh fruits, like this orange, stamped color added. This color, in fact, is so pure and safe that a child can eat the rind. Like foods and drugs, all cosmetics must be safe, made of appropriate ingredients, and honestly labeled.
Who has had a harder day, Nancy or Sam Taylor? Only a time and motion study expert could say for sure. But this much is certain. Within the span of 3 hectic hours, Nancy has shopped, dashed to a hospital, and fed her family safe, pure, and wholesome food. And safe means safe for those with health problems requiring special dietary foods, and for youngsters like Todd, who may be more easily injured than an adult in robust health. The invisible circle of FDA protection surrounding the Taylor family is strong, but not infallible. There is always the human element to be reckoned with. Efficient new chemicals take the drudgery out of housework, but they can also bring new hazards into the home. Another law passed by Congress and enforced by FDA requires warning labels on hazardous household chemicals. Every healthy youngster is a pint-sized Christopher Columbus. More than any other age group, young children are victims of household poisoning accidents. They have no judgment. They're too young to read. No law and no act of Congress can protect an adventurous 4-year-old at a moment like this. Todd has found a new and different world to explore, where he can play, smell, taste. The label can only warn. Parents must do the rest. Sheer luck and good timing have saved the Taylors from having another member of the family hospitalized. The day has not yet ended for Sam and Nancy Taylor. Jeff expects his evening visit. Jeff Taylor is well on the road to recovery, but his visitor and fellow patient is not so lucky. He is a victim of cancer. He relied on the supposed virtues of a phony medical gadget, this little magic spike. He came for medical help too late. This fake medical device was supposed to cure him by giving off healing radiation. Actually, it gave off nothing. But Robert Fisk paid $300 for it.
FDA wages a constant war against quackery. Worthless or misrepresented devices are tracked down, tested, and court action taken against them. The $300 is the smallest part of Robert Fisk's loss. His cancer, with early diagnosis and treatment, could probably have been cured. His recovery now is doubtful. But each year, despite FDA efforts, Americans continue to waste their money, risking their lives on quackery and its products. Like cancer victims, sufferers from arthritis and rheumatism are prime targets of the quack. But unlike Robert Fisk, who waited too long, these fellow patients are getting the best help medical science can offer. There is a road back for many of these people. It is often time-consuming, discouraging, painfully slow. But in the end, it is the road back. Make no mistake about it. When miracle machines or pills are discovered to cure any disease, chronic or acute, everyone will benefit.
For Jeff Taylor, medical science has already issued and stamped his passport to the future. This has been a difficult day for the Taylors. A day of stress and anxiety, with a happy ending. Though they've been unaware of it, today and every day, from the first cup of coffee to the last, science and the law have been with them and with all of us, an invisible shield of protection for every American consumer.